And we're live. Hello, humans. Hello, humans. How are we doing tonight? No, Dr. Art. Dr. Art is busy doing like secret government things, like really intense stuff. I can't even mention it. So we're flying solo tonight, guys. Hit me with your best shot. Mexican spec, what's happening, brother? I was just watching a TK's garage video, like right before I came here, and he mentioned you. I don't remember what the context was, but he was saying, Mexican spec, and it's not like a derogatory thing, it's spec. So, Chungo, Bill McKeiska, what's happening? Rocco, yeah, let's go. Let's do this thing, okay? Mike N, Midwest Audit, that's a new name. What's happening? Um, Richard Hayes, Chango, I said hi to you already, brother man. Michael Newman, Joe K, Dr. Art's Department of Secret. That's it, just secret. Um, Territory, what happened to the same UTG time, same UTG channel? On Wednesday nights, I do dog things. There's a class for my puppy, Molly Jane, and I take her there on Wednesday nights. So that's why we moved it to Thursdays. But it's all one day of the week to me. It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's all one friggin' day. Um, Shannon, what's happening? Crash's Roadrunner Garage. Tinker Daily, tell me how's the weather from Alberta? Yeah, the weather's been really crazy. We actually I was at a training session this morning near Lebanon, Tennessee, and as we were leaving, we got the tornado alert, and we were able to actually pull over on the side of the road, and the tornado was going right behind us. So we got that was interesting, and the weather's supposed to be really jacked up here for the next I don't know next couple of few days. We're gonna try to go to the track tomorrow night. That ain't gonna happen. Then we go Saturday. That ain't gonna happen. So it's just it's springtime in Tennessee. Um, let's see. Dust out of garage. What's happening, brother man? How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Vital Davidson, Lymanstein. Yes, everybody's having a fun Thursday. This is a fun Thursday. Carbide Jones, Midwest store that loves this channel. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Count Trumpula. I hope you all make out okay. Yes, we're doing fun. Count Trumpula. That's great. Um, Terrence Seymour. Wait, I gotta switch this to all chat. Okay, yeah, because what happens if I don't have it on that setting, half the chat, just we don't see it. Um, I'm rocking my Mexican soda. Yeah, Choritos. I'm becoming a Mexican. People actually they think I'm Mexican because a lot of people down here think I'm Mexican because I'm Italian. So like what they're saying. So that darker thing. So, but I'm becoming Italian. I'm Mexican. Rather, I eat Mexican food. Now I drink Mexican sodas, and that's just all Mexican now. Um, let's see. Uh, Mexicans are Jarritos. Yes, all right, Jarritos. They don't say J in Mexico. Um, Micah has his Lyra class on Wednesdays. I don't know what Lyra is. Um, it's Jarritos. Okay, sorry guys. All right, I know. I should learn. I should learn to pronounce things correctly if I'm gonna. Next Italian. Yep. Um, Brian, just haven't watched in a while. New job where I continue from Australia. Welcome back, my brother. Um, Zero is in the house. Hey, is this thing jerky? A little bit jerky because I think the weather is interfering with the signal. Olive, what's happening? Olive, uh, Elmo, Hola, como estes, Tony? Yes, um, yes. I don't know what that means. Um, let's see. It looks good. Awesome. Thank you, Zero. Always in charge of quality control, both in this realm and others. Um, Clatra01, what's happening? I think we're just going to spend the night greeting people. I think that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to not talk about anything else. We're just going to greet people. Um, McDonald's no looks as bad as it normally does. Uh, Elmo, Tony, no Spanish in grade school, I see. Oh, they tried. They tried to teach me all kinds of commie things, like metricals and different languages. And I was like, no, no, we won that war. I have no interest in speaking anybody else's language. And then I started eating and drinking all this stuff, so I guess maybe I should. Um, Rocco says he can't do the realm too much. What's happening, Ron? How are you? 40 Mamba, Georgia Glassman. Oscar Gonzalez, where's my partner? Dr. Art, I don't know, he texted me before and he was like, I can't make it tonight. And I'm like, obviously he's involved in something very important, very impressive stuff that we could not possibly understand. So, let's just let it go for that. I got to clean my glasses because I picked up the filthiest, most scratched up set of glasses I owned and put them on just for this occasion. Okay. Better? No, it's not better. That's good. He's probably busy with Scribbles. He changed the name of it's no longer Scribbles. It's called Smog. Let's see. 72Z28. Yes, he's making Smog great again. Let's see. Elmo, in 50 years' time, in 50 years, Spanish will be the official language here. Dude, I'm 60. I'm going to be 63 like next week. I don't care what the language is going to be. Yes, Mexican spec. I did see. Oh, geez, okay, this thing is malfunctioning. Okay, I'm getting pop-ups over the chat. Like that. Hang on. Sorry, guys. All right. Yes, I did see OC Motivators video about I saw that. Now I also saw where TK's Garage is saying that they've suspended charger production for various reasons, but I think that's probably a good idea at this point. Let's see. Michael Lanone, I have received 4.0 and love your first engine job series because it basically is step-by-step guide to my situation. That's what we do. We do a lot of stuff specifically for that, man, for guys who, just trying to learn the stuff just coming up, that's why we do it. We're going to have some interesting stuff. So we've done several engine builds like from scratch, and all of them are very simple, very straightforward. We've never done anything exotic on this channel. We probably never will do anything exotic on this channel. But we have a 3D3 coming up. In fact, I've got it sitting outside hanging from the back of my wrecker right now. But we're going to do a 3D3, and that's going to be a basic go through, fix it, put it back together again. Nothing crazy, nothing exotic, and it'll be like that same basic template that no matter what you're working on, you'll be able to follow along with it and get something out of it. Let's see. David and I have Holly or Quadrajet. Yes. 01 is saying to anyone who's wondering, my last name is Spanish. I thought it was. I thought you use like an unpronounceable glyph, kind of like Prince used to. I don't know. I can't imagine you actually writing out a whole name, sir. Let's see. Trevor, thank you for the super chat. That's not sound I made. That's how he spells his name. 2011 Corolla, Japan made, 240,000 miles. I'll rebuild it if I have to. Never buying a new car. I mean, that's probably a 2011 Corolla is probably a pretty safe car. I mean, I can't say that I'm intimately familiar with them, but it's probably a good car. Let's see. Sean 806, what's happening, brother? Let's see. Mark Sauvé. You were in the hospital for 18 days? Oh, geez. I hope everything's okay. Okay. Oh, you've got Mysanthia Gavis. Huh. All the best, brother. Our collective thoughts are with you. Jay Haas, he's on Hey Stack here. New followers, your videos are informative, like the ones like setting up a holiday card. Bro, we try to be a service to our viewers. You know, honestly, I always put that like at the forefront. You know, before we do a video, it's like, are people going to get something out of this? You know, and it could just be entertainment. It could be like knowledge. It could be, you know, a different way of looking at things. But always, it's at the forefront. You know, it's like anytime we do anything, it's like, is this a service to the people who are watching it? So I appreciate you recognizing that. Let's see. Danny Boyd is saying, been a couple or few in this community who have had some weeks-long hospital stays lately. There's a lot of illness going around. I noticed that. Not necessarily in this particular group, but I have noticed there's been an uptick in serious injuries and unexpected deaths. So yeah, I believe me, I notice. Let's see. My thermal quad thanks you. Oh, John, your thermal quad thanks me. Excellent. Ron Armstrong is saying that 3D3 could make the Hindenburg fun after you get over the liquid propane thing. I'm having frustrating times with propane. And in fact, I started shooting a video on that today, and then they had to come in. They had to do some work on the air conditioning in here. So I left. I didn't get a shot. I'm going to shoot it tomorrow morning. Yes, I'm going through some teething pains with the propane. I'm not throwing in the towel by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not going to be as easy and straightforward as I thought. Donut Guard, thank you for the super chat. You're building a roller cam 350 small block Chevy and you want to put points distributor. Okay. Any suggestions for a good unit? I've gotten a lot of flack for even thinking about this. Okay. Donut Guard. I did a video not too oh God, it was a long time ago, probably about 4 years ago now, where I found a dyno test that Carcraft magazine had done back in 1981, 1982, something like that. And it was a dyno test. It was a comparison between a stock single point Chevy distributor, a stock HEI, and then an Axel HEI, right? Like the state of the art HEI for what, they were doing at the time, right? They ran a dyno test on a 350 Chevy. The point distributor, the single point distributor, made more power at a higher RPM than either the Axel or the stock HEI. Okay? So there's a lot to this. If you don't mind the maintenance, if you don't mind every once in a while going in there and setting the dwell on it, because that's what you do with a Chevy distributor. You could buy aftermarket like dual point distributors all day long for dirt cheap. There's actually a Chevy. If you go on the Nashville, Craigslist and not Craigslist, Nashville Facebook Marketplace, there is a Mallory dual point distributor, Chevy Mallory dual point distributor, complete, and it looks like it's new. It looks like it wasn't even in a motor for $20. I have a shelf at the house full of dual point distributors that I bought for $5, $10, $20 each. So you can find some good points distributor deals out there. And I'm not pissing on HEIs. HEIs work, and I have nothing against them. But he asked specifically about a points distributor, so that's what I'm responding to. Let's see. Sean 806, replacing points is not much different than replacing a sensor on a modern car engine. It's all relative to the era. I agree with you. To me, it's just normal. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. And I like it because you can always limp home. When there's a problem with it, you can always get it running. Right? There's always a way to get it running when it's an analog ignition system. Where when it's a digital or electronic ignition system, no, when it stops running, it stops running, and that's always been my biggest thing with the points. They're just so freaking reliable, and in a pinch you can get them going. It just takes a little bit of maintenance. That's all, a little bit of maintenance. And yes, a points distributor will survive an EMP attack. 72Z28, replacing points is easier than replacing a camshaft, a crank. It's the crankshaft position sensor on a Jeep. Yeah, the one that's mounted on the bell housing. I know. Let's see. Vintage adventurer drives. That's why I love points. The last points trailer I had only required a $1 bill to clean the contacts to get back on the road. He's right. That is an old trick. If you don't have a points file handy, the points start to get sloppy like that. You can use a $1 bill or any currency like that. It's just coarse enough that you get in there and rapidly rub it back and forth, and it'll clean the scuzz of points. But again, I'm not saying do not use electronic ignition. I have electronic ignition on many things, but I just don't believe in replacing points for an electronic ignition. Let's see. Rocco is saying, I'm not worried about EMP at this point. Oh, it's unlikely, bro. EMP is unlikely. Solar flare is more likely than EMP. But again, it's like, yeah, I don't worry about the stuff either. But I don't worry about it probably because I've got so many things that'll run without, Made muscle. My uncle stole one of my aunt's nail files and kept it in the glove box for his points. We all did. Back in the day, we all had nail files in our toolboxes. Matthew McCullum, flux core welders. Can you do a follow-up vid comparing them? New to welding, but need to do floor pans on my car. I don't want to do too much flux core. I mean, I've done several. I've done a lot of flux core. Just search the channel, okay? Just put flux core, and I've probably done I'm going to say 6 to 10 videos on flux core welding and flux core welders. I don't know if I want to do a comparison. I picked up that titanium one, and did I do a comparison? No, I just did a review on it. But bang for the buck, the Harbor Freight, the basic bottom of the barrel scumbag Harbor Freight flux core welder is all you need to do floors in any car, right? I literally built an entire car from the ground up using one of those. But yeah, that's all you need for the floors. Okay, Tony, what do you make of these spectator drags? They're a little nutty, man. They're a little nutty. I don't know. I mean, the problem with that is you've always you don't know who's in the other lane. You know what I mean? It's like you might be looking at it and saying, "Yeah, I'll make a lap in my car. It'll be fun, right?" But you got Speed Racer in the other lane with a point to prove. Oh, it could get expensive. Go flux yourself. Yeah, yes, thank you. The main CD, bro, there's yes, I actually want to look into that. Where is that now? There's a video on a laser welder. I'd like to check that out. Okay, this thing froze. Hang on, guys. We got frozen chat here. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Mike Wendell is recommending check out Bundle Billy. He's great with flux core. I've never heard of him, but check him out. Let's see. All right, you guys are talking about sandpaper, lean. All right, I'm getting lost here. Um, Mike Paul, what do you think of getting an older Mercedes diesel? The old Mercedes diesels, like if you go back to like 60s, 70s, 80s, they were renowned. They were world known for being bulletproof. Um, Now I don't know what the aftermarket support is for them, but I mean I remember those cars pretty well. They were absolute tanks. Those things were weapons. They were built like they were used as taxi cabs and stuff in Germany. So like police cars, they were built for the to take the punishment. So yeah, I would say if you're inclined to go in that direction, I would definitely get my hands on one of those. Um, Old McDonald has a call. When did they start letting hundreds of spectators watch races at the starting line on the track? Talk about serious liability issues. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just part of that culture. And those are outlaw tracks, man. Those are outlaw tracks. You go in there, you sign a waiver. You know what I mean? You sign a when you pay your money at the door, right? At the the entrance. Okay, uh, you're signing a waiver there, and it's like you're on your own. You pays your money, you takes your chances. Um, I don't know. I agree. It should be policed a little bit better. I've been in situations like that back in my New York street racing days. I mean, it wasn't just people around the starting line. We used to literally race through walls of people, and it was just the way it was. I'm not saying it was good. I'm not saying just that it was good or anything like that. But you gotta picture a scene like in New York where you're running on a relatively narrow road, and you'll have cars on either side, and you'll have people on either side, all between the cars, and we would race through them. I mean, I can remember many times on Fountain Avenue. If you guys, this because we run the slower cars on Fountain Avenue, right? Um, I remember many times, like like getting ready for the starter to make a countdown, and there's like you look ahead, and the street is just covered with people, and they would step out of the way as the cars went through. So it's like, and I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that's what it was. That's how it was. They really should police it a little bit better. But that's Mr. Darwin is just hanging around waiting, waiting, just waiting. Um, Sean A806. What are your thoughts on the recommended 10,000 to 20,000 mile oil changes? Personally, think it's a conspiracy to wear our engines fairly quickly. You know what? Honestly, I can see 8 to 10,000 miles. I don't think there's anything wrong with a good running engine, a well sealing engine. I don't see anything wrong going 8,000 to 10,000 miles. Um, Beyond that, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Jared, like rally crowds on the corner exit. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it was like. People are crazy, especially people in large groups. They're crazy. Mexican spec saying, Tony, Ford, Mexico didn't switch to electronic ignition in truck until 1986 or so. They believed in points. See, that's what I'm saying. Um, Joe K, Ultimate Darwin are these street takeovers. Oh, please. I know. Please. That's just that's whole other level of just stupidity. I can't even go there. We had a purpose. When we would line up to race, we had a purpose. We were racing the guy in the other lane. You know what I mean? Like there was a reason that we were there, right? And whether it was money or it was ego or it was whatever it happened to be, right? Or to prove A lot of street racing was done by guys who were trying to prove that, hey, look, bring me your car, I'll make your car run right. You know what I mean? It was so like there were reasons to do the stupid, insane, crazy stuff that we did. That street takeover stuff is just there's no reason for that. That's just ridiculous. Perry Ford, Tony, what's the best all-around Mopar engine of all time? I just did a video 3 days ago. The 3D3 Chrysler, in my opinion, that's the best one. The B engine Chrysler, the low deck, big block, but the 3D3 specifically, because it's the happiest of them all. In my opinion, that's it. That's it. CP, blown head gasket at 140,000 miles on Tahoe. Rebuild the 5.3 or replace with a reman. If you got a 5.3 that's blown a head gasket at only 140,000 miles, you probably got some underlying issues. Warped block, the deck surface, warped cylinder head, its mating surface. Now, what happens a lot is electrolysis. So what happens is if you see, it depends on the gasket. It depends on how the gasket is blown. All right. If the gasket is rotted through electrolysis, and electrolysis happens when antifreeze breaks down. When it breaks down, it becomes acidic. The acid in the antifreeze reacts with the stainless in the head gasket, the iron in the liner, and the aluminum around the rest of the casting. And it'll etch away, it'll electrically etch away bits of the gasket until it fails. So if you take it apart and you find that that's the case, put it back together again, right? You'll be fine. Fresh antifreeze, fresh gasket, you're good to go. But if that's not the case, the antifreeze comes out looking good and the gasket is just blown, right? And then you've probably got a sealing issue with either the deck being out or the head being out. You got to read the problem. When you take it apart, you got to read the problem. The best advice I can give you. This thing keeps. Sorry, guys. This is and now it looks like it froze. Have one of those days. Okay, here we go. Here we were going. I think it's time for a new laptop. I think this thing's about toast. Let's see. Big Chevy Boski Mike. Help me. Small block Chevy 400. 268 exhaust cam, EX cam. 4 degrees advance. Timing chain, I got 19 degrees with dial-back timing light. Now, how should I adjust the vacuum and how much? Oh man, wait, you're freaking me out here, Mike. All right, the cam is 4 degrees advanced, which has nothing at all to do with your ignition timing. I got 19 degrees with dial-back timing light. And how should I adjust vacuum? How much should I have also adjust vacuum cam? All right, when you're setting your timing, set it with the vacuum advance disconnected, right? You don't want the vacuum advance on there when you're setting your timing. Vacuum advance is a completely different thing. So if you're not setting your timing by the factory specs, and you probably shouldn't at this point because you've changed the cam. The cam timing has nothing to do with ignition timing, but the characteristics of the cam shift do. So I would set it for total timing. What you do is disconnect the vacuum advance, right? Let's say you want 32 degrees. And your engine will probably run best between like 32 and 34 degrees, okay? Total timing. Rev the engine until all the advance is in, okay? When you see it top out at 32, 34 degrees where you want, that's where you set your distributor, lock it down. And then whatever initial you have is what it's going to be. Don't worry about the initial number. Set it for the total timing. Did that make any sense? And worst comes to worst, power time it. I did a whole video on power timing. It's a viable thing. It is many different ways to skin the cat. But yeah, go for about 34 total. Clatra 01 just put an RPM intake on my 390. So far, the S code intake is running better up top. Head scratcher. Plenum, bro. Plenum. Throw a spacer in there. Claudia, throw a spacer in there. Throw as big a spacer as you can fit, and be able to close the hood with all your stuff. But like a 1 or a 2-inch spacer will probably even things out. Need metal. Thank you for the super chat. Got a 67 Firebird at the shop set up for racing. Krager's on the rear. Do not register on the center diameter, only the lugs. Safe. Car has big motor stall, etc. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. No, the Unilug wheels did not register. They weren't intended to register. The Unilug, so they're meant to fit everything. Okay. Now, two things you need to know about this, right? To make it work, because it will work to an extent. 800 horsepower with a trans brake and a slick? No. Just no. All right. 500 horsepower, foot braking it, that sort of thing, you're fine. Okay. What you need to know about those is that A, they use a special washer, right? You need that special Unilug washer. B, the lug nut is a special Unilug lug nut. Make sure you're using the right lug nut, because there's a certain amount of crush that's involved there, right? The lug nut has to be exactly the right match to the wheel. And also, the stud has to protrude at least one length. So the width of the stud, so the stud, let's say it's a 7/16 stud, it's got to protrude at least 7/16 of an inch past the wheel, right? So if you meet all of that criteria, should be okay to an extent. Again, like I said, 800, 1,000 horsepower trans brake, no, those wheels are not intended for that. But 500, 600 horsepower, foot braking, you should be fine. Let's see. Rocco, Tony, would love to see a live teardown of that 3D3. Doesn't have to all be in one shot. Can spread it out over a couple of Thursdays. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, because I would like to do it live. I would definitely like to do teardown live. But let me think about it. The problem with doing something like that is to do it live, you really need somebody to film it. You have to have like a camera person there. So like, for instance, when you're shooting a video, you stop in between scenes, you know what I mean? And you move the camera, or you switch to a different camera, and you edit a lot of stuff out. But when you're doing it live, you really need somebody there following you through the whole process, and it can be very time consuming. I'd like to do it live. I would like to do it live. Patrick Sullivan, yes, you have to have the correct washers and the correct lug nuts. That's the biggest problem people have with these older wheels, and they don't know. They just find a lug nut that fits. You know what I mean? No, the lug nuts are actually very specific to the wheels. Did I just see Fubar pop up in here? Whoops. I just wrecked. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Dust out of the garage. Are Krager SS wheels weak? Have you ever seen one break? Thinking about them for my Duster, non-Unilug. No, the Krager wheels are actually very strong. And if you go back and you look at, let's say, 1971 or thereabouts, they were using those Craig wheels on Pro Stockers, which were launching, and those are 3,300 pound cars, launching at 7,000 RPM, right, on 1432s. And they were using the Craig wheels also. A lot of fuel cars ran Krager wheels at that time. Also, funny cars, not dragsters, but funny cars used them. Yes, I can recall seeing one or two of them break, but that's an exception. There's a difference, though, between the unilug that doesn't center and the proper wheel that does center. Right? So if you've got the non-unilug and it's the correct one for your car, right? Then yeah, you don't have any problem, man. You don't have any problem at all. They're good wheels. I have seen them break, but it's rare. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. The chat is so the chat scrolls, okay, and it's been freezing, and I get these pop-ups over it, and I don't know what's going on with it. Stephen Paul, you remember the paint drying on the Hemi? Yeah. Yes, it is Fubar. What's happening, brother man? Okay, now the chat is ripping, and I can't catch up. It's Mrs. Fubar. How are you? Did Jamie pop in the house? Okay, yeah. And see, this chat is all over the map tonight. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. I don't know if Jamie popped in. Hey, Jamie, what's happening, brother? I watched you tear down on the 440 on that 446. Like, dude, you do such good videos. You do such good freaking videos. And here we go again. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, Loud Burns, I accidentally deleted your comment. I didn't mean to. I don't even know what the comment was, but I accidentally deleted it with my thumb. I'm sorry. Let's see. 80 Cobra guy, I think the early IROC wheels look good on almost anything. He's like with 70, 77, 78. I agree. The laptop needs maintenance. So this laptop's about done, guys. I mean, it is 7 years. We've been live streaming off of this laptop for 7 freaking years. Let's see. You love the show. Thank you, Call UPS. Rocket saying the signal's probably crappy from all the storm down. Yeah, there's storms all around us. They're all around us. In fact, I've even got right now. I've got my text. Usually, I have my phone on silent. You people try to get a hold of me, and you can't. It's because my phone's always on silent, and I hide it so I can't see it. But I actually have the sound is on now because there are possibilities of tornadoes coming through here tonight. Anthony P. Torque converter starter gear blew apart and broke a piece of the rear cam plug housing. Can I repair with epoxy without tearing the engine down and welding the block? Ugh. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Judgment call. I'd have to see it. Yes, I'm keeping tabs on Kathy and the pups. Yeah, I never have my phone is always upside down, so I can't see it. I don't want to know that somebody's trying to get a hold of me, and then the buzzer's always off. So I check it every 20 minutes, a half hour, so I'll give it a quick look. I resent the modern world. I honestly do. I miss the days when you could just go through life keep your head clear and focus on what you're doing and not always be called away by the phone. Let's see. Donut Card, thank you for the super chat. Have you ever interviewed Mark Warman? I think the two of you having a sit down with one another just to shoot the shit would be a great watch. I mean, we have a mutual friend. I reached out to him. Oh God, when we first started the channel. We have a mutual friend in Tony D'Agostino. If you watch his show, you know Tony and I go back to when we were teenagers. We're like early 20s. So yeah, I've known him for over 40 years. I reached out to Mark years ago when I first started this channel, and he never got back to me. So, you know, and I know he knows who I am from the magazines because I used to do High Performance Mopar and Mopar Action and all those other magazines. So I know he knows who I am, but he never got back to me. Mark, so they weren't tornadoes a September occurrence before these chemtrails? No, man. There's always, I'm in Tennessee for 22 years now, and every spring we get this. It hasn't been too bad this year. It's actually, we've had it worse. Zero saying David R. from Graveyard Cars was awesome to deal with when I was at Classic Industries. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything about him. I'm just saying I did reach out and he never got back to me. Poor Man's Speed Shop. How's it going, man? I have a question for you. I recently bought a 74 Dodge Charger. It's my first Charger. I'm new to B-Bodies. I found out yesterday it's a rally Charger. Are they rare cars? Not particularly. And 74 could have been a 318. The rally, okay, so the only thing that's unique, so 74, it could be a 360, it could be a 400, but it could also be a 318 in 1974. So what you got there was the same suspension as would have been, let's say, on a Roadrunner. So you got the rear sway bar, you got the heavier duty front sway bars, disc brakes, and then you got the power bulge hood, and you got the door with those indents in them. Is it rare? It's not common. Like it's not a super desirable car, but it's certainly not common, and they are beautiful. So I mean, good luck with it. You got a nice piece there. Dust Devil, trying to keep an eye on Ryan Hall. I always got Ryan Hall playing at the house. I'm sure Kathy's watching him right now. Oh, okay. Boss, not Zero saying not Mark W. David R. was the head mechanic for a while and left because of Mark W. Just saying. I'm not gonna. I have no personal experiences with the guy whatsoever, so I can't pass judgment. Big Chevy Boski. Uncle Tony, I just did what you said. I locked out the timing at 36, took it for a spin, fine-tuned the adjustable vacuum advance cam. I got second gear, posi squeal, 1-2 shift, back, thanks, run 3200. Good. See? How'd you do it so fast? That's great. I love that. Instant feedback. See, that's rare. You know, people are always asking questions and you always giving answers, but it's very rare that people can actually go out to their car, implement the thing, come back and report on that same live. So go you, man. I'm glad it worked out. Joe K, can you convert an older R12 AC compressor to run on 134? My experience is you don't have to convert jack. So when I was just talking about this. When was I just talking about this? So when they first started phasing out R12 because of the hole in the ozone layer that was going to kill us all, when they first started phasing out the R12, people were like, "Oh, you got to revamp the system. Every trace of everything's going to be drained out of it, and then you got to change the O-rings. The O-rings all got to be green O-rings, and blah, blah, blah. No, you don't have to do any of that shit. Like R134, and I can't tell you how many AC systems you have to use the ester oil. You got to use the oil that's intended for that freon. Okay, and that's okay. Now, according to this, we've been disconnected. Can you guys see or hear me? All right. Hello? Can you guys see or hear me? Because I'm getting a message here saying my connection has been interrupted. Okay. Huh. Yes, we're still on. Okay. All right. Awesome. Because it is. Oh, now the chat's just ripping. Okay. All right. It's cutting out a little, but it's still quite watchable. Thank you, Dan. Okay. See, the important thing is to use the right oil with it. If you don't use the right oil, if you use the same, I don't remember what it was called. If you use the same oil that was with the R12 with the 134, it coagulates, like it starts to block the system. It'll clog up your expansion valve. So you have to use the right oil with the refrigerant that you're using. Let's see. Luke, good evening, Luke. Okay, Rocky, you're still here. Good. Okay. Olive, so what's up with the background, Tony? Is this phone party theater? So a couple of months ago, about 2 months ago now, I come in and Dr. Art he came in here while I was gone, and he stuck this up. It's a background, it's just just a backdrop. It's a cloth, but it looks real, doesn't it? Yes, it's a Tech Talk lounge and library. Oh, Big Chevy, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see. Boy from New York, you popped in. Welcome. I need a dog on his chair. I've been having a lot of fun with the puppy. Molly Jane, we went to agility this morning. I took her to her puppy class last night. She dominated her puppy class. It was like, she's only 4.5 months old. She dominated her puppy class completely. Like, this dog has no fear. She's brilliant. She's alert. She's happy. She's always smiling, and she dominated the puppy class. So she's still too young. Puppies have a thing. They have growth plates. I'm just learning about this now. They have growth plates, so you have to be careful with like jumping and stuff. She can't start practicing like agility yet. But other than that, she's 1,000%. She's awesome. Let's see. Oliver saying, boy from New York is my online friend from GT Racing and Motor Week Geeking. Okay. I occasionally geek on the old Motor Week shows. Scoop puppy class, aren't they already good at being puppies? They're great at being puppies. But it's like basic tricks and responding to commands and stuff like that. And they get like titles for this stuff. Thanks for the info, Tony. I really appreciate it. I found a build sheet in the car. It was a 364 barrel car, TX9 black car with the V6R stripe down the side. I love your channel, man. Excellent. That's a pretty car. That's a pretty car. I hope you put Krager SS's on that thing, or Keystone Classics. either Traeger SSs or Keystone Classics. Of course, you could use the stock wheels; they're fine. But man, those things really pop with the SSs. Mike and Shade Tree Mechanic reruns. I'm in the town that they shot Shade Tree Mechanic in. Let's see. Oliver saying there's another Motor Week marathon this weekend. I'll be at protests for. Oh, you're protesting? What are you protesting, Olive? I'll be at the protest for some of it, but we'll have a good time. Oh, Olive, I love you, Olive. Big Chevy, UTG. I have my first car, 72 Caprice, with that 400 in it. Did the build in 1995. Still have the car in the driveway 30 years later. Isn't that nice? And I like. Sometimes you'll see like on Facebook, they'll show like before and after pictures, and on the same car and the same guy or the same couple or whatever. 40 years apart, 50 years apart. I always like that. I was gonna kick out of that. Oliver saying just the collapse of the nation into fascism. No biggie, right? No, this is the undoing of fascism. Fascism is the corporate government. We've had the corporate government. Now we're getting rid of the corporate government. Olive, you have it backwards. Love Olive. Stay away from the Teslas, Olive. Let's see. Sergeant Mustang, he told me I've got a car with a solid rear axle, '07 Crown Vic. The right rear wheel bearing went out and had an axle saver on it. I've since had it replaced. Oh, okay. Okay. Hang on. Let me go. What? I lost it. I'm sorry, guys. I got to try to regroup on the chat again here. This thing is giving me fits tonight. I'm sorry. All right. I'm just going to. If I missed, I'm sorry. If you say we were trying to say something important, it's gone now. I can't get it back. So say it again. New City Carpet UT is the third year of 1.73 going into a 1-to-1 too much of a spread. No, it's a spread, but not too much of a spread. You guys, let's stay out of politics. Let's not do politics. Okay, Sergeant Mustang. Sorry about that. I cut my own message off early. The question is, what causes the rear axle bearing to wear? Could it be an issue with oil circulation from a differential? It could be the low oil, but generally speaking, that'll take on both sides because the oil, as you're just making turns, the oil level is right at so proper fill level on most axles is right to the bottom of the tubes. Make any turns, just gradual turns. Excuse me, a little bit of the oil will migrate down the tube and get the bearing, right? Or actually, with that rear, it's probably right there at the bearing. So just, but anyway, I've seen them where the axle just didn't have the correct hardness, and the bearing will start to cut into the axle. I mean, it could have been anything, but it's a common thing to go bad. I wouldn't make too much of it. Richard Hayes, Tony, I just got an 81 Yamaha XS 850 triple. Oh, that was going too fast. With 841 miles on it from my great uncle that he bought new. Any experience with them? I do not have any experience with them. I can't even recall ever riding a Yamaha 4-stroke triple. So I don't have any experience with them at all. 81 was a good year for Yamahas in general, though. The only 4-stroke triple I ever rode was a Triumph. And I couldn't get over the sound. I